Live from the Slackers Sports Bar Studios, this is In the Building with Mike Taylor and Rudy J.
Well, we're back again. We have survived and lived another day, and so here we are. Good morning.
Good morning, Earthlings.
Who's in the building with us today? This is In the Building. This is 241 already? 241. Not bad.
Good morning, my neighbor.
As we inch closer day by day to the one-year anniversary of this show in its current form, well, this show in its only form, In the Building was created when Rudy Johnson decided to join the fad of leaving your employer for another one.
Oof.
Making the decision to transfer and get into the transfer portal. And we're almost a year in. And we want to have a party. We want to celebrate with our subscribers. We want to celebrate for all those that are in the building. Thunderdomers, people that have been with me and Rudy and LG all these years. Some of y'all are new, some of y'all are old. We want to say thank you. We're throwing a party for y'all, honestly, is what this is. Right. And yesterday we were talking about doing a show over at Slackers. And we got to thinking after we got off the air, what are we doing? Why? Because our anniversary actually falls on a Thursday?
Wednesday.
A Wednesday. Yeah, it falls on a Wednesday, which is I don't know, what is that, the 20-something?
22nd.
Okay, and we got that's cool. Let's just do something that Wednesday night at Slackers on the 22nd. Mm-hmm. So we got to thinking yesterday when the show was over, why would we let's do it on a Friday? It doesn't have to be the day. You know, you don't always celebrate your kid's birthday if it comes on a Tuesday. You have a party on Saturday when kids can come over.
Or the previous Saturday, whatever, yeah.
Right, yeah. So we wouldn't have to be on the exact day. We'll celebrate it on that Wednesday. But we want to have a thank you party for all of our subscribers. You don't have to be a subscriber, but boy, I don't if you're not and you show up and you drink beer with us and you're not a subscriber, don't tell me because I'm going to get pissed and have you thrown out of there. Damn it. I want subscribers. Not necessarily, doesn't have to be members. We love them more than we love our subscribers. But we don't love people that watch our show every day that refuse to subscribe. I like you a little bit. You're like a stepchild. You know, the members are my favorite child. Subscribers who are not members, they're my middle child. I love them, but kid gets chicken pox, suck it up and go to school, Johnny. And then the people that watch our show that are not members or subscribers, you're like the stepchild that I just kind of tolerate. I'm happy you're watching, but man, all you have to do is click subscribe. It's absolutely free. And that keeps us looking good with our masters at YouTube and all the other platforms we're on. So, just saying. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a trigger word for Rudy. My bad. I'm sorry. That's my fault. I'm sorry. Give me a mulligan on that.
I'm kidding.
So, we got to talking yesterday. Let's not do this on a Wednesday just because it's the actual date of the anniversary. So, we've moved it. We're going to do it on Friday. On a Friday, 2 days after the anniversary. So, on the 24th, January 24, we would like to invite all of our subscribers out to a local Slackers. There are 5 in town. I'm waiting on Rudy to tell me which one. I don't care which one.
I'm waiting to be told which one.
Okay. We could just pick one, just show up. They don't have to give us permission. We're paying customers. Right. We go to whatever the hell we want.
Facts.
So you just want to pick one? We could. Could do a bit. Just pick one. Could draw a name out of a hat. We need to be able to tell folks.
I like Thousand Oaks. Yeah, I like Thousand Oaks patio.
You want to just settle on that?
Yeah, I like
settle on Thousand Oaks. Okay, I like it. That's cool too. That's probably the most happy medium for people that live, because you never know where people might come from.
I like their patio.
It's probably the easiest. And you're right, they do have a good patio scene. Hopefully, it won't be 35 degrees that day like it is today. I doubt it.
No.
So on Friday, the 24th, we will have an anniversary party for y'all, not for us. We want to say thank you. A thank you to our subscribers and members and Thunderdomers and whatever you want to call yourselves. If you watch this show and support us, we want to thank you in person. We're not going to do a podcast that night. We're going to do our regular podcast that morning. This is a meet and greet. It's a hang. We'll probably get some Pop-A-Shot tournaments going, probably get some Pong going, or God knows what. But primarily, I just want to sit and drink a few beers with people and say thank you for 2 or 3 hours. That's all we're doing. So I'm thinking 5 o'clock. even though a lot of people don't get off work till 5, we get there at 5 and hang, and then we stay till like 8 or 9 o'clock or whatever. Give people time to come in and hang and leave and do whatever they have to do. So we want to say thank you. So Friday the 24th at Slackers on Thousand Oaks, right off of 281. That's where we will be. Slackers, of course, has been one of our big supporters all this past year as our studio sponsor. 5 locations in town, including the Thousand Oaks location where we will be. The Nacogdoches location, where I went mistakenly the other day, thinking we were having a meeting there, and I was at the wrong location. I was 15 minutes late because of that, and I was pissed at myself. We've got the Med Center location on Fredericksburg Road. We've got the one by North Star Mall back behind it over on Rector, and the one over on St. Mary's close to downtown. So thank you to Slackers, a year-long almost supporter of In the Building. Cannot thank those boys enough for their support of this show. We're just a little old podcast, and these things cannot function without support from the people and our sponsors. And thank you to Slackers for being our official sports bar. All right, there it is. So Friday the 24th, y'all come hang. All right, homie, what's on your mind today? Rudy sent me a weird text today. Normally, he tells me what he wants to talk about. You want to talk about Jimmy Carter, apparently.
Well, you're a historian. Well, because
I
went to the gym, and
Yeah.
on one of the TVs they were airing his funeral.
Mm-hmm.
They were airing his funeral, and
Yep.
it was crazy because I've never watched a presidential funeral, right? So they line up the current presidents, like the past president. So it's Trump.
Yep.
Then Obama has to sit next to Trump.
Yep.
Then GW's next to Obama, and then the Clintons.
Right.
And it was funny, and it's just like, damn. Obama and Trump had a good 10-minute conversation. Just, of course, you couldn't get farther ends of the spectrum, but they're just sitting there yakking it up. I'm like, damn, how do we get there? Because we picking, you know what I'm saying? We've chosen sides, and they disagree on everything, but they sitting there and the camera stayed on them, right? The camera stayed on them. 10 minutes laughing. I would love to have been a fly buzzing in between them to see what the hell they were talking about. But it got me to thinking.
Small talk. Probably small talk.
Yeah, but it was small talk. It was small talk, but it got me to thinking, first of all, why are Hillary and Bill still acting like they like each other? That's another story. But number 2,
I have some theories and they're not appropriate.
I know you're a history buff. So tell me about Jimmy Carter. Since we laid Jimmy to rest today.
Okay. I was going to give you my theory on why the Clintons are together, but in honor of the great Jimmy Carter, I won't talk about what I think she might have down there.
You think Melania don't like Donald? Hillary, she ain't look at him. It's like, who are y'all trying to pretend to at this point?
Dude, those old school marriages. You stick with this asshole long enough. Y'all have had massive success. You're rich beyond your wildest. He's pushing 80. Why? I mean, it gets to a point where old men, just like old wild asses like Clinton, eventually just kind of have to settle down because your liver's like, hey, dude, we're going to tap out if you don't stop this. And,
right.
I mean, you've got, God knows, you drop seed from here to Zimbabwe, and at some point, even the wildest of dudes slow down. Well, most do. And if their women are still with them at that point, it's just like, well, shit, he's 70 now. You don't do nothing anymore. Why divorce him? Our kids are grown.
But they're in separate rooms. He
lets me do whatever I want.
They're in separate rooms, right?
Probably.
You ever seen those older couples that they're married but sleep in separate rooms?
Yeah, because he snores. No, you just ain't loved him in 18 years, but y'all are so used to being together, you wouldn't know what to do by yourself, So
damn.
I just think that's the scene that they've got rolling. The great Jimmy Carter.
The great? Is that how we're gonna start it? The great?
I do, yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna just. I'm no Jimmy Carter expert, but I know a little bit. I know his highlights.
I just know you're a history guy, so I figured.
I appreciate that, and I like this. And I like presidential history too, very much. I love American presidential history. So no one has lived longer after being in the White House than President Carter, because he lost the 1980 election to Reagan. And so he had this whole life after being president, right? And I'm
Yeah,
sure
well,
that
that was what 45
80,
years ago.
yeah, 1980 is when he lost to Reagan in the election because he got put in. He won in 76. America had gotten tired of the
No,
Republicans because they went through all the bullshit with Nixon, and so whoever the Democratic candidate that year was going to be, he was going to win. And so Ford finished Nixon's term, and then Carter won in 76. And I'm sure all my Republican buddies will let me know just how horrible Jimmy was as a president. But I would argue that, and this is saying a lot, I would argue that no former president has done more for society than President Carter did in his post White House career.
mm,
That man right there is a Nobel Peace Prize winner. That man was a lifelong supporter of Habitat for Humanity. They lost count after over as the years went by on the number of houses that President Carter's organization helped build for free for people that needed homes in the South. Jimmy being from big Southern John Plantation country and had that Georgia accent. Probably the greatest humanitarian former president we've ever had. And I can't think of a close second. Because most
damn.
presidents, usually when the president retires, he's in his 70s and he's near the end, and he just goes and hangs out. Like Joe Biden, he's gonna sit in a rocking chair in a meadow for the next 2 years until Jesus calls him. But Jimmy was a young man and had this whole life ahead of him,
Right.
and that's why I look forward to seeing what President Obama might do the rest of his
I
life.
could
Because
see I could see that I could see that path of giving
yeah,
back for sure.
Obama's in great shape. And a
Obama
young
hasn't
man.
gained. Dude, I was looking at him today. I was like,
Mhm.
he's the same weight as when he took office in '08. He
I
hasn't
think he's
gained
the
a
same
pound in
weight as when he was
16.
I think he's the
Okay.
same weight as when he was in high school in Hawaii. Honestly,
Hmm.
he's one. Well, it's in his dad was real thin. He comes from that. His ancestors on his daddy's side come from that part of Kenya where just biologically, physiologically, there's not a lot of fat people in Kenya. Those people are just their structure is thin. They're just
Hmm.
thin-natured folks. If you get
That's why they
fat,
always, yeah, in Kenya,
you're
something
trying.
wrong.
Yeah, you're
You're
trying.
rich. You're filthy rich. David
Yeah.
A says Carter was the last Democrat to win Texas. That's a hell of a fun fact.
That's true, and probably will
That's
remain the last Democrat to win Texas as long as I'm alive.
fact.
But and I don't give a shit about the politics. Y'all can, I mean,
Yeah, I
I
don't care
know all
about that
about
either.
I know about the hostages and the gas prices and all that kind of thing. I just know that he was a decent human being at his core. He was a good man, whether you agree with his policies or not. He was a damn good dude. I wasn't sure if President Bush was a damn good dude, but as the years have gone by and I paid attention to him, again, I pay attention to presidents. I don't know why. And I like to see the things they do after they're out of office. President Bush is a damn good guy, just a good dude, just a good dude at heart. I don't think that he was
I'm
evil. I
yeah.
disagree with a whole bunch of shit he did when he was in office, but it
Well,
wasn't
we're
because he
gonna
was
disagree with
evil.
both. Yeah, that's a
Sure.
side.
He
We
was just
as
a
men,
decent human being.
as humans, we're supposed to disagree.
Yeah, he
So
legit.
that's beside the point.
Yeah, President Bush also he will vote for who he thinks is the best candidate. He's actually skewed pretty left post presidency. That now because his party has gone farther right than when he was in office. Now that being said, the Democrats have gone farther left at the same time. But President Carter, at its core, was a peanut farmer who shockingly became the president simply because he was a damn good guy and worked his ass off and did his best in office. But post office showed that he put his money where his mouth was. He legitimately cared about people. He was a peanut farmer who wound up president, who wound up winning the Nobel Peace Prize, who wound up building homes for the charity work he did is unmatched by any former president in history to this day.
Well,
So God bless the great
pour
Jimmy
some out.
Carter.
Pour something out for Jimmy.
Yeah. I wonder if was Michelle Obama there? I've been busy. I haven't had a chance to turn it on.
Michelle
Was
didn't
she
go.
not there? Interesting.
She was the only wife not there.
I was going to ask you if President Bush gave her candy. That's their bit. Every time they wind up sitting next to each other at a funeral,
Bush got a sweet tooth. I'm tired of seeing him flirt with Michelle.
He constantly flirts with Michelle.
He constantly
And
flirts with
always
Michelle.
offers her candy or gum.
Yeah.
And you'll see them like they're swapping candy during the eulogy and stuff.
Yeah,
It's pretty
I'm
funny.
like-
Obama don't give a shit. He's just, it's funny. And Barbara's there too. She don't. I mean, Laura's there. They don't care.
Is it crazy?
I like
I miss Bush. I miss Bush. I miss him. I miss him.
Well, somewhere along the way, women started shaving, you know. So I just fight through it. You know, not like it was back in the day. Oh, we talking about presidents? Godspeed to the great Jimmy Carter. Godspeed to him. He was the American president, damn it, and did a hell of a lot of good things for people. And I appreciate that. Thank you. What's up, Rudy?
No, my brother-in-law was calling me. He don't listen to the show.
Well,
he don't know.
I mean,
he don't know.
People text me all the time during the show.
What's up,
Ruben
Lou?
Vajegas? My wife will be trying to win. My wife will be trying to win first place dessert again that day for our team. We have her banners up at Cafe Don Juan. Oh, that's it. He can't go to the after the party because we got rodeo in town, and we got big barbecue competitions and stuff. Rodeo will be here before you know it. And his wife always like places and wins awards and stuff for her desserts.
Yeah, I saw that.
She's awesome. Yeah, it's great. So that's all right, Ruben. We forgive you. You owe us tacos though, player. Just saying. So
yeah, it's been a while, but I need mine on corn. New year, new me.
Keto Jar. My 4th grade history teacher thought he did an awesome impression of Jimmy Carter, but it was just cringe.
Well, I wouldn't know where to start with a Jimmy Carter.
Well, the only reason that I can't sound like Jimmy, I can do the accent because I hung around. I've been around folk like that a little bit in my life. It's a different accent. It ain't the same.
You sounded like Forrest Gump right there, though.
Well, you know what they do is they don't finish words a lot. Oh, we're going to Talladega Saturday. I'm hoping that Brian Regan is able to get the win. It's almost Cajun-y. Like they don't finish a lot of the words. Oh, up here in Charlotte,
like it's giving me Waterboy vibes.
Yeah, it's not. It's Cajun Texan. It's Dixie, man. We had a neighbor we lived next to when I was in Fort Worth as a kid. They were from Atlanta. The wife had a real thick, like that Dixie accent. And the first time I heard it, I fell in love with her, even though she was like 50. Because I like her accent. I've never heard it before. I was probably 15, and my soccer ball went in her yard. And so I just hopped the fence to go. It was in the backyard because our backyards were next to each other. I just hopped the fence to get the soccer ball. She opened the door. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. My ball went in your yard." She's like, "That's okay, sugar. You can climb that fence anytime you want to." And I'm just like, I'd never heard that before. I thought it was exotic.
See, that's when the fences were horizontal.
That's when we weren't afraid of everything, and we didn't have wooden fences. They were chain link, and you can see through.
Oh, you had the chain link.
See, absolutely. So, anyway, pour some out for the great Jimmy Carter. I'm punch me for not watching the funeral. I got busy this morning and had shit going on. I'll go back and watch.
Look, I wasn't planning to watch it. It was just there's 70 TVs
I
in
should
there.
have. I liked it,
and it was in front of the treadmill that I was on. And Ruben, tacos on the anniversary sounds good, sir.
Sounds good, Holmes. What was I going to say? So President Bush. I like watching funerals. I don't know. I like watching stately things like that. Inaugurations, funerals, announcements like, when Biden gives out the medals of honor or medals of freedom to citizens and stuff. I like to watch those kind of things. Whenever teams go to the White House to celebrate championships, I always watch that. I think it's cool. It's interesting. And President Bush's eulogy for his dad, Big George, was beautiful. It was awesome. It's great. So I get wrapped up in. That's when I feel patriotic on days like today. Big days, funerals, inaugurations, things like that. Attacks on the Capitol, not so much, but
I didn't say that.
Big day.
I didn't say it, Thunderdome. Jesus.
Why do you always distance? We don't have to qualify the shit we say.
Because everybody hate everybody. I'm a racist.
it's
I'm a
you're
racist,
it's
anti-Trumper piece
you're
of
an
shit.
asshole if you don't agree with attacking the Capitol. I mean, that's not a shot at the Republicans. It's a shot at
Exactly.
these animals that did that. They're fucking morons, just
Thank
like
you,
these
Mike.
animals on the left that create havoc all over the place. I'm a moderate man, as you know. I rip both of
Yeah.
their asses. It's nice to be
Yeah.
a moderate because it gives me lots of content because I can slam both their asses when they deserve it. So
Yeah.
shout out to President Carter. All right, what else today? Football stuff. All right, here's a tease. What do Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and a kid from San Antonio, Reagan, have in common today?
I know the answer, so I'll bow out.
All right. So this is pretty delicious. So Belichick's out on the recruiting trail with his new job at North Carolina, speaking of that part of the country,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get new football players to come play and play at the Tar Heels. And while he's doing that, and Belichick's going and poaching people's players and paying them to come to Carolina and getting ripped on Twitter by other coaches for cheating. Now we got Tom Brady in the other ear of Belichick trying to get him to go to the freaking Raiders, apparently, according to the NFL Network. Tom Brady, who is now part of the ownership group with the Raiders. You know, Tom Brady, who is a fucking broadcaster and does games on Fox but can't study teams because he is a part owner of a team. Massive discrepancy. The only human in America who could get away with this.
The only one.
Tom Brady, who, I mean, he has a credit. By the way, let me say this about Brady. He has a credibility issue.
What do you mean?
At some point, it's going to crash
What do you
in on
mean?
him.
What do you mean credibility?
He can't call games the right way because he's biased. He clearly
Go ahead.
Can't even he can't interview coaches. He can't interview players on the weeks before games. He's not allowed to criticize referees during the game because no NFL owner or manager is allowed to criticize NFL referees publicly without being fined and reprimanded and punished. So he can't rightfully criticize refs during games. And oh, by the way, he's busy also while he's getting ready to call the Super Bowl here in a month. He's busy trying to find the Raiders' next head coach.
Well, here's what I'll say. He's just doing. I agree with that. But when you look at what color does, he just call it play by play. But this is what I have a problem with, and I would hope not have a problem with, but I would hope Brady before contacting Belichick, because again, Brady's a minority owner.
Correct.
So before you contacting Bill Belichick, you run this by your GM?
I doubt it.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that ain't cool. Like, I get it. You're Tom Brady. I get it. You hold a big stick. But what if your GM wants nothing to do with Bill Belichick? That's if Jerry Jones did that, well, if Jerry he's the GM, so that doesn't work. But if Robert Kraft did that, I don't care what who my GM's planning on bringing in. That's meddling. And you're meddling from a minority perspective. From a minority vantage point, or whatever you want to call it. Bro, you got to relax.
Magic Johnson, Magic's like 3% owner of the Dodgers? That'd be like Magic trying to go get Japanese pitchers.
Or he's the Commanders. Magic's I'm going to call Bill Belichick. I know,
right.
Our coach did a good job, but I'm going to see if Bill Belichick wants to come. Like, what?
I'm sure, but Brady is he's the exception. Yes, he's super minority, but he's been given carte blanche by Mark Davis, who spent 3 years wooing Tom to become part owner of the Raiders. He was talking to Tom while he was in Tampa Bay still playing. That remember there was accusations of tampering. They were talking to Tom about being a damn owner of the Raiders while he was still a member of the Bucks. I bet you he can do what he wants. Now, that don't mean they're going to do what he says. And by the way, let's just be real here. If I'm the Raiders and I'm completely starting over again, am I calling a 73-year-old man to do it?
Well, Tom is a champion, and Tom knows what that 73-year-old man can do.
I understand, but that 73-year-old man don't have Tom Brady at quarterback in Vegas. They're a mess. Belichick,
they are a mess.
The next head coach, and this is what pisses me off about Antonio Pierce not getting nearly enough time. Fuck the Raiders.
Bullshit.
By the way, fuck the Raiders. I hope they lose the next. I hope they don't make the playoffs for 20 more years.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
That's a great bother. That's
the
a
way
great, by the way.
they screwed Antonio Pierce, giving him no time, like the Patriots give Jared Mayo no time,
No time.
0 time. The hell you supposed? There was no one on the planet could have had a better record in New England than what Mayo had this year, based on simply
No.
on the talent level. And in
It was
Vegas,
the winning that last game, which is stupid, but still.
which was dumb, absolutely dumb. I'm not saying that Jared Mayo was going to wind up winning Super Bowls. I don't know, but they don't know either. That's the point. Why are you going to hire somebody? And at that point, he's the right man for the job. We've done an extensive search all over the world trying to find the right man for the Vegas Raiders job, and we've absolutely we're so thrilled to have Antonio's leadership. He's a former player. He's a leader of men, blah, 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 blah. He's the great hire. And then 17 months later, he's shit canned. Again, we focus on Jerry a lot on our show because of where we're based. You ain't got to be a Rhodes Scholar or former president to run a fucking NFL team. There are more. Jerry ain't the only dumbass in charge of an NFL team.
Sure.
Just saying. And
Where's the kid from Reagan fit in this?
What's that?
Where's the kid from Reagan fit in this?
Well, so meanwhile, Belichick's busy out recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
And they have bought a kid from Reagan.
He said bought.
Well, it's no longer recruited. It's bought from all these transfers are bought.
Who'd they get?
They're not recruited. They got this kid named Price Yates. You ever heard that name before?
Yeah.
All right, you did some high school football in the area.
Yeah,
Price Yates was a 3-star defensive end at Reagan.
Yeah, I know. I called a couple of his games.
And wound up at UConn. No shame in that. Obviously, not a blue blood, not a power 4, but playing football at UConn. And UConn's pretty good in their conference every year. Jim Mora, remember him? Jim Mora is now the head coach
Jim Mora?
at UConn. Yeah, same dude. He's the coach at UConn. This is the son.
The son. Okay, got you.
This is Jim Mora Jr.
Got you.
So Price Yates when Reagan went up to UConn and turned into a pass rushing bitch. Destroyed, ironically, North Carolina when they swooped North Carolina's ass in the bowl game 2 weeks ago. And Price Yates tweeted that night, "I'm staying at UConn. I am not transferring." People were freaking out. "Oh, my God, this kid's blown up. He's leading the conference in sacks, blah, blah, blah. I don't want him to transfer." And Price Yates announced on Twitter, "I'm not leaving. I'm staying at UConn. Husky por vida." 3 days later, I'm back in the portal. And this is the tweet that night that Mora went public with. Jim Mora wrote, quote, "A simple note to the schools and coaches that have blatantly broken NCAA football rules by tampering with our players in the last 24 hours. We do know who you are. We will pursue all avenues to hold you accountable. We are excited that we built a program where coaches have to cheat to beat us, and we will protect this program. Think hard before you tamper with our players." What you gonna do? Ain't no rules, ain't no regulations.
Man, it's
broken rules. Come on, baby.
You're not supposed to be able to say, "Hey, I got 600,000 for you." You're not supposed to be able to say that.
Right,
but we all know people saying
600 grand. You're gonna say no to 600 grand and get the chance to meet Bill Belichick and play with him?
This is what drives me crazy. First of all, there's some things about the NIL I like. There's some things that I don't like. So I'm on the fence, and you can't trust a man that won't pick a side. So don't trust me when I'm talking NIL.
Okay.
But I'll say this. For decades upon decades, we told kids that are in college, only 1% of you are going to the NFL. Only 1% of you are going to ever make the NFL. So you need to start getting prepared for life. That's what they're doing. Like, hey, there's a good chance I will not have an NFL career. So if I have to bounce around and stack up a couple million before I leave college, y'all told me I'm probably not going to be an NFL player. And if I do get there, it's only going to last 3 years.
Yep.
So I'm going to go to 17 colleges and make as much money as possible because y'all told me I'm probably not going to the NFL. Can't have it both ways. Can't tell them get ready for life and then get mad when they're getting ready for life.
Right.
You can't be on both sides of that fence.
Right. So
So shout out to Yates.
Belichick's pissing off Jim Mora buying former San Antonio high school players to go play at Carolina. Tom
I
Brady's
love
trying
it.
to get Bill Belichick to shit on Carolina. By the way, if Belichick leaves Carolina right now to go to the Vegas Raiders after this, that's the sorriest move in sports of my lifetime. Certainly
Well,
top
who
5.
did that? Didn't Kingsbury do that? Wasn't he like,
It's been done, but
it's been done?
but not this high profile where you've got the
Right.
GOAT who
I
is
think,
all in wearing his Carolina blue jacket to the basketball game. Then he's in Vegas 2
Belichick,
weeks later. Come on, man.
that's why Parcells and Belichick fell off. Because Parcells hooked him up with the Jets job, right? And then Belichick turned it down. Isn't that where their beef came from? I don't
Something
remember. It
like
was
that,
something
but they
along
they've
those
made
lines.
good after the years. They made good after the years went as the years went by. I don't look I think Belichick's has a better chance for success at Carolina, even though he's never coached in college, than he would at Vegas.
Really?
The Raiders need 5 years minimum. This man's 73. He can get Carolina with the rules in place as they are, or the lack thereof, I should say, of rules. He can get Carolina to 10 wins next season. He can have Carolina in the playoffs next year if they bring in the right transfers this year and Belichick coaches them up. Vegas,
Mm,
he won't live to see the success of his labor in Vegas. You can't just turn a team in the NFL around like that unless you draft Patrick Mahomes. College, you just
right.
go buy who you want because there's no rules. I had a long conversation yesterday with a Texas A&M football booster. All right.
Really? How'd
Yeah.
that conversation go?
It was a good it was fun. It was a good conversation. Lot of insight. And they have no problem with NIL. But the problem is there's no rules to anything. And that's not the
There are
kids'
rules,
fault.
but they bend them. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
supposed to
they're
be
not
rules.
in stone. They're loose. They've got to have regulation. These kids want to be grown-ups. Cool. Make them legit full-time year-round employees of the school. They're not even players. They're not even students. They're staff members, basically, So just make them staff members. By the way, we're less than 5 years away from having a football league anyway, a minor league college football league. That's what this is going to. There've got to be some regulation where you can't transfer 4 times in 4 years without repercussion. You want to leave and go somewhere? Cool, but that team, that school needs to compensate your current boss before you bail.
It's
You
like
know,
it's
there
like
needs to
being
be
bought out of the
contract.
EPL.
Yeah, at some point, we need to have we can do purchases. Yeah, guys need to be purchased like in soccer overseas. Once again, I always bring up European soccer models. It's the best sports model there is. The way European soccer leagues are ran and operated, and no one cares. Everybody gets along. There's no protesting like this because everything we do here doesn't make any sense, not mathematically, because everything we do here is only about money.
Right.
Only about money. And a lot of these kids wind up blowing. You talk about setting kids up. Kids go to this. It's just happened a lot. I can give some names where you think you transfer, you go to another school, they give you 50 grand, and in 4 months you've blown every damn dollar on dumbass jewelry, stupid ass trips, car, and you're out of money. But here's the thing. Tough shit. That's called being a grown up. You need to be responsible for your own stuff, because a lot of kids they go get paid and they put it in the bank and they sit on it. But a lot of kids screw up. We got to protect these kids from themselves. No, we don't. We don't.
No, we
What we need
don't.
to do,
And
the
it's not
grown-ups, the
not
grown-ups
only
need to
that,
protect themselves from themselves, not the kids.
dude, there's 100 lottery winners over 40, 50 years old that fuck off money. So I don't want to
Sure.
hear about these kids because grown-ups are doing it. So I don't want to hear about
Couldn't
kids
agree
messing
more.
up money. So I don't want to hear that shit. And if they
I
do,
agree.
I ain't got to pay them back. So hey, man, that's a life lesson. Like, hey, next time you get some money, you'll know that you got to tuck it.
Right. And of
I'm not
course,
worried about that. That ain't my
this
job.
these schools couldn't just let things go. At first this was presented as, no, these kids ought to be able to go make deals with the local car dealer or
Yeah. We
Raising
didn't know it was going
Cane's.
to get to this.
Well, what happened? The schools got greedy. They decided to start these collectives. Why? I
Right.
don't. If I'm a member, if I'm getting paid by the local school collective, I don't need to go do endorsements for Raising Cane's or Mickey D's. I'm getting paid indirectly by the school anyway. That's
Yeah,
what
but
screws this up. The player is not
D,
their
yeah,
fault. It's these collectives that mess this shit up.
yeah. Dion talked about that. He was like, "Hey, not all these kids are getting NIL." He was like, "There's some kids that are just getting, they get rationed out from the collective. Like, hey, man, I would like
Right,
my mom hasn't been to a game this year. Could I get a couple bucks from the collective?
right.
Sure." So like everybody makes it seem like everybody's Quinn Ewers or everybody's Arch Manning. There's a good maybe when let's pick the UT. Got more money than ever. There's probably 20 kids that are making really good money. The rest, you just get a little bit here and there from the collective based on how good you are. So it's
Yeah,
not like it's a free for all because there's 80 dudes on the college team. 60 of them ain't making nowhere near what Arch Manning's making. So
no,
everybody just got to relax a little bit.
right. It's the collectives that are to blame, and so that's what needs to be regulated. These
Right.
collectives, fine. You want to pay kids a salary, then make them W-2 employees. Give them medical insurance. Make them
Well, if I'm gonna be,
like if they're
well, then I would
teachers.
say if I was the lawyer for the student athletes, then I would
Hmm.
say if you're gonna put me on W-2 and you want me at or 1099 or whatever, then I
Hmm.
ain't going. I ain't going to class.
They shouldn't have to. It should be a bonus if you want. It should be optional. It should be optional. It really
And
should.
I think they should. First of all, I think they should go to class. Leave. Get the debt-free degree. Like I don't know if you can use it or not, but get the debt-free degree. I'm not against the degree. I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna be employees, then why do I got to still be a student?
We're getting to the point where going to class is just a perk if you want to. You get to here's the schedule. You can go to the classes, take it serious if you want to. If you want, it's a perk. That's it. It's an option. It's like having a gym in an apartment complex. You're schooling, but that's where this thing's going, and the schools are to blame because they're the ones that started these collectives.
Because it starts becoming a pissing contest. Like the
Absolutely.
Aggies are gonna throw their money around, UT, etc.
See,
So anyway,
absolutely. All right, it's in the building, presented in part by Ribaldo Realty. That's my man Jay Ribaldo. Had a good conversation with his partner Tom on the phone yesterday too. Shout
really,
out to a guy called Tom Rasco.
what's up, Tom?
Tom is a longtime commercial real estate man in this city. He's I don't want to give all of his history away, but he's done a
Yeah,
lot of prominent things in and around this city, and he's partnered up with our guy Jay Ribaldo, and they collectively try to sell commercial property. Jay wants to be big time. He just don't want to be some little old local real estate guy. Sells a couple houses a year on this. A
wants
lot
to
of
be a
people have real
mogul.
estate. A lot of people have real estate licenses on the side. Like my dad has a real estate license. It's just an extreme side hustle. Jay wants to be a player,
Jay
and
wants to be selling San Antonio on Netflix.
no question. Which is
Yeah,
why that's why what and how do you get there? Well, there's many ways to get there, but number one is you're awesome at what you do. And you genuinely care about the people that do business with you, that use you as their real estate agent. So whether you are looking for a house, whether you're looking to sell one, we just had a subscriber to in the building sell a home through Jay the other day. Finally, everything went clear and it's final, it's done. Or maybe you're looking to invest in commercial property. LG just listed what looks like an old Valero gas station on the east side, right there off New Braunfels, right where the bridge crosses over, near
yeah,
35, headed to Frost Bank. That's a prime location to have a gas station. They're trying to move this thing here. Commercial properties, it takes a little longer to move them. But this one here
yeah.
has
Of
been it's
course.
been listed for a couple of months. And just once again, a reminder that if you're looking to invest in a gas station, go look at all the specs on this spot here. It's one of their hot spots they're trying to sell. It's a good property if you're in the market to invest in this kind of thing. Go look this up. Go to Ribaldo.com. That is their website. Jay has all of its listings on there. He and Tom, it's his commercial partner. Uh, Jay's got Facebook page. Obviously has a phone number. You got email. You can get a hold of Jay directly, 210-887-1081, or you can email him. It's jribaldo at kw.com. KW as in Keller Williams. jribaldo at kw.com. All right. I learned a new word last night.
I saw this. You text this. What's the new word?
So I'm talking to my little Mexican 13-year-old. And what are you doing? Oh, sending pictures to my friend. She's going to make me a sweater.
Okay.
Okay. Buddy's going to knit her a sweater as a gift.
That's pretty cool.
That's sweet. I'm like, okay, cool. And I said, well, what kind of sweater is she going to make you? What's it going to look like? And my little 13-year-old, she goes, well, she's not sure. So I'm looking through some pictures right now for inspo. And I go,
That's
okay, cool. What is that? Is that a website? Is that an app?
oh
I
my
want to look.
God, Mike. Oh my
And she's
God,
like, wait,
Mike.
what? So we had like 10 seconds of confusion, right? I'm like, oh, okay. And I go,
Come
is that
on,
something I
Mike.
can look at? And she
Come
goes,
on,
what do you
Mike.
mean, Daddy? I go, no, is that something I can look at? And
Come
she goes,
on.
no. I was just trying to figure out something that we like. I'm like, wait, what? What's inspo? I'm pulling up my app store.
Oh
She's
my
like,
God.
no. Inspiration.
Yes.
My kid hit me with, she's been 13 all of 4 days. And now all of a sudden we're going to get fake words here on the phone.
It's not fake.
I didn't get on her. I'm fine. She's 13. So you're
That's
familiar
old.
with the term inspo?
Yeah,
That's
that
old.
that's been around a while.
Inspo.
Inspo.
Why
That
isn't
was
it
to me, I feel like inspo when Pinterest
inspo?
when Pinterest blew up, I feel
Yeah.
like the word inspo blew up because people would go to Pinterest for inspo. I don't know why we cut everything down. I don't know why we can't just say inspiration. I don't know why.
We
I
ain't
don't.
doing nothing. I don't cut shit down. They're doing it. Ain't no we. Inspo.
And to keep the thing about it, it's like, oh, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, but no,
Last
that one's
week,
been around.
she was my 12-year-old baby girl. This week, she's my 13-year-old teenager saying inspo.
She's a teenager, man.
What
Good luck.
next? What's she gonna say? That she's gonna use the what? She's gonna say hella, Daddy. I can't. I hella miss you. Can't wait to see you.
Yeah,
Am I gonna get hit with that? Why
Yeah,
not inspa? There's no O.
That's what I
in
was thinking.
inspo.
Yeah, I don't get the
Inspo?
O. Well, in shun, there's an O at the shun, TION, but I would say inspa makes more sense than inspo.
And the fact that she would hit her dad with that tells me she uses this term all the time.
That also tells me
It's
she
just
wanted to
part of
put
her.
she wanted
What?
to put you on. She was like, let me
Oh
put
well,
daddy on.
maybe she was effing with
Let
me.
me put
See
that.
if I
Yeah,
knew
let
what
me
she was
put
talking
that.
about.
Yeah, let me put dad up to. Let me get dad up to speed.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm gonna get duped every time because I'm a college educated man and I do not speak in half bullshit broken words like that. I don't say hella, don't say
You don't say
Riz.
you don't say Riz.
No,
I
I'm
don't
not even
say
sure
I
what
don't
that
say
means anymore. What is
dude.
Riz? LG taught me this earlier this year.
Charisma.
Oh
Charisma.
my God. This is why kids can't spell. This is why they can't write sentences in paragraphs. Because we're writing Riz and hella and LOL and inspo. The phone has completely ruined the language. And that,
Well, I
as a
think we
talk
can't
show
spell.
host, makes me nuts.
We can't spell because our phone will do it for us. If I type in RES, I won't have to worry about Tarrant. I will type in RES and my phone's going to give me a restaurant. I don't have to figure it out like, what's restaurant? Is it TAURENT?
Yeah,
What is it? If I put in
dude.
RES, I'm getting Tarrant. So,
Yeah. Mike says we've been mofo's one we've always used. Yeah, but see, that's
good point.
mofo's done. No, nah, hang on. That's different. Because the mofo is a polite way of saying motherfucker.
So we
That's
don't
all.
have
We're
to
just
curse. So we don't have to say
correct.
sound so ugly.
Correct. Yes. And I'll be honest with you, there's a couple that I use on occasion just for fun. You know why? Because that millennial woman that I share my life with uses short-term words like that too, like half words on occasion. I never said hella until I started hanging out with Nina. Hella. But I ain't saying inspo. So,
I ain't saying inspo. I don't say inspo feels feminine to me.
Yeah. Oh, someone said Luby's mic strikes again. Hey man, I'm a grown man. I don't say inspo. I say mofo because I don't want to say motherfucker. I don't want to be I don't want to be rude in public. I say it on
Right.
this show because we're family. It's us and our followers. But like I say mofo to people I barely know. YOLO drove me nuts there for a while.
Yeah, YOLO drove me crazy too.
Dude,
I hated
I'm
that
not.
one.
Look, I just wanted to see if y'all are familiar with the word, and apparently it's been around for a long time.
It's been around. I want to say, yeah, it's been around.
I'm happy that I'm out of touch on this kind of thing. That means that means I read the right news every day. I'm on the right websites and apps when I'm not familiar with these bullshit lingo. So, punch my kid for saying inspo to her daddy. Speaking of punching, shall we? Shall we get
Let's do
violent
it.
today? We would be remiss if we did not spend some time doing some punching. It is time for People I Want to Punch, presented by the official family lawyer in the building, Orlando Kill. Who we punching today from Team Rudy?
I'm gonna be fair today. I'm gonna be fair to the great top 2, top 3, top 1, depending on who you ask, NBA player of all time. And I'm gonna punch myself because so Dion went on a popular urban podcast, $1 million worth of game, Gilly and Wallow, and he told them, I would be willing to go to the NFL if they drafted my sons. And he stressed, and he said, I said sons, plural. And I was like, hell yeah. You gosh damn right, Dion. And then 5-10 minutes later, I was like, wait a minute, Rudy, you hypocritical piece of shit. You just destroyed LeBron James. You just destroyed LeBron James 3 months ago for getting his son drafted, for forcing the Lakers to draft his son.
But Dion criticized the Lakers for drafting.
Me. I did.
Oh, you
Rudy.
did. Oh,
But
yeah.
I didn't have no problem with Dion doing it. But when LeBron did it, I was like, hey, man. Well, but there is also a fundamental difference. LeBron was making it seem like he had nothing to do with it. Dion at least is saying it up front. But it's still nepotism. And nepotism's going on forever. But let's be real. I could be honest here. I love Dion, but Shiloh ain't a pro. Shiloh's not a pro. He's not a pro safety. He's not a pro safety. And telling somebody, hey, Titans, Jaguars, Raiders, which Dion went to that stadium and was talking with Antonio Pierce and was telling Antonio Pierce, hey, man, we love Vegas. Hey, just let you know, Antonio, we love Vegas. This was months ago. We love Vegas. We love Vegas. And now all of a sudden, that job's open. And Dion says, hey, I'll take an NFL job if you take both of my sons. And I'm like, I'm punching myself because I'm not mad at it. And that's kind of messed up considering I just torched LeBron but I did torch LeBron because he acted like he had nothing to do with it.
So you're a Bears fan.
Sure.
You're fine with Dion taking that job if they promised, because if they're able to get Shedeur, which they probably would. Let's just hypothetical world. Caleb Williams didn't exist.
Okay, Caleb Williams is not there. If Caleb Williams is not there,
obviously we want Shedeur obviously that excites people. But we have to take Shiloh too. Is that how we want to start off? This
is why I would do it if I was an NFL team. It has nothing to do with his sons because I can cut them at any time. Contracts aren't guaranteed.
Right.
I want Dion. I think he's a great leader of men, and I think he knows football. We go from 1-12, 1-11 to being in a bowl game. Now, you got your ass handed to you, but the fact that you can even do that. And the thing about it is, I know why the college kids respect him. I think the NFL players would too, because, again, he's the best, possibly could be the best athlete of all time, not only the best NFL player of all time, and it's hands down, he's the best DB of all time. So getting Dion, I'm willing to roll the dice on Shedeur and Shiloh to get Dion.
I love them together in college.
You don't know about the pros.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I'm not sold on. Look, I think Shedeur could be solid. Shedeur needs to go to the Russell Wilson Big Ben route, Kansas City Chiefs route with Patrick Mahomes. And that's why Deion's so adamant about where he goes. He needs to come into a situation where he can be a game manager until the game slows down. Shador, in my opinion, and I'm not knocking the kid, he's not good enough. He's not Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck went to the Colts and was like, Shador ain't that. But if you put a great running back, some great receivers, a tight end, great defense, great coach, and you just say, hey, man, just throw the ball out of bounds on 3rd and 7 if nothing's there. Hand the ball off to this guy. He's got 1,500 yards. You put him in that situation, and then 5 years from now, the game slows down, he gets it. Sure, but the savior, Shador ain't the savior. I don't believe in his game like that after watching him for 2 years now.
Jaden Daniels is not the rookie of the year in Chicago.
Hell no.
But he is in Washington because he's got Quinn and Kingsbury.
And Brian Robinson and Scary Terry. And
correct.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Culture got changed quick there.
Right.
If I'm not sure if I'm a general manager or an owner of an NFL team. So Deion says, I would love to be your coach, but you need to draft Shiloh too and Shador. Is that the relationship I want to start off with Deion? Does this mean what if Shador blows out in 2 years and he's not any good and we need to move on from him? You going to resign as coach because he's not your guy anymore? There's a risk there. I'm running a business here,
Right.
And if I want you, Deion, to be my coach, that means I want you to be the coach at least 5 years. But I have to draft Shiloh or it's either draft Shiloh or nothing.
Then you just say no. Then you say no.
Yeah, I guess then
you would say no. I got
that's the deal. Yeah. And it ain't like Deion's going to mail in the job while he's your coach. He just wants the kid. By the way, I can tell you, I can give you right now an example of a team that does that already. The Dallas Cowboys do. Deuce Vaughn is only a Cowboy because his daddy's in scouting. Period. They'll lie to the end of time about that, and they're liars.
Right.
No way they're drafting some 5'5" ass running back unless his daddy was a member of the scouting department. Yeah. And that was a beautiful little moment. The Cowboys put that out there on their social media that day of his dad crying. They let Dad make the call.
Right.
To tell Deuce he was drafted. Then he talked to Jerry and McCarthy. And it was a sweet scene, but come on, man. And Deuce can't even get on the field. Yeah. And they knew he wasn't going to get on the field. This past year, if Deuce Vaughn was ever going to help the Dallas Cowboys, it would have been this year. They had no effing running backs, and he still couldn't get on the field. The Cowboys like to do bullshit. And I would also ask Deion this. Why would you go take a job knowing that they're about bullshit? Now, from an entertainment standpoint, I hope Deion becomes the Cowboys coach on Monday. and they trade up and draft Shador Sanders, and they take Shiloh because I just want to. I'm about the entertainment. But if it's my team, I'm worried about a guy who loves me only if I draft his sons. Because I love you with or without your sons. I'll try to if Shiloh's there and available, and he's the best player that's on the board. Fine. But if I only get 7 draft picks now, I only get 7 of them. I don't want to waste one. You said yourself, Shiloh's not NFL ready. It's a tough call.
He's slow. He's slow. He can't cover. He's too little. I could go on and on.
So you're punching yourself because you like this for Deion, but you threw LeBron under the bus. Okay.
I'm like, hell yeah, Deion, get your sons drafted, dog. Do you think? But at least, like I said, at least Deion is saying it. LeBron was like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I have no idea. I haven't talked to anybody in the organization about J.J. Redick or my son. What?
Right. That's funny.
Cut the bullshit. But I still punch myself for being a hypocrite. Who are you punching?
I'm going to punch the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
Shad Khan.
Yeah. What did he do?
Another example of you don't have to be a smart guy to run a football team. Or
gotta be rich.
It's an example of you may be real smart in other areas, which is why you are rich. That don't mean you can run a football team. The NFL at some point is going to have to step in and take the Jaguars from Shad Khan. That scene there is abysmal.
What
He
happened?
don't
What is
know
he
what
doing?
he's doing,
Oh, got you.
and he doesn't give a shit at all. Woody Johnson, another renegade up with the Jets, that I would rather have the Joneses, by God, than Woody Johnson and the idiots that they got and the idiots that are in Jacksonville. So Shad Khan's on some, I don't know if it's like a Jaguars podcast or something, and he's on the podcast, get the dude's name right, and the general manager's on there too. Trent Baalke is his name. That's the GM of the Jaguars. Look, Trent Baalke, he probably ought to be fired too for the shitty job they've done in Jacksonville.
Sure. Well,
Wasting
he's got
sunshine.
the players. He's gotten the players. Doug Peterson just didn't do shit with it. But go ahead.
And I guess that's why Shad's decided to keep him. But I guess Shad forgot that Baalke was also on the podcast because they were not in the same room. They were kind of like you and I are right now.
Oh my God.
And he was asked about the decision to keep Baalke. And then the podcast host asked him, well, what if this was a Zoom call? What if, is it a guarantee that Baalke's the GM next season? Because we noticed that we see you've kept him. And by the way, Baalke's literally sitting there on the Zoom call. And Shad Khan's like, nah, if I have a chance to get a better GM, I would. Not only he says that publicly, he says it in front of the dude while he's sitting there on the same podcast because I guess he had an old man moment or he doesn't give a shit.
Or he don't give a shit.
That's so unprofessional. You cannot work like that. You want to credit Shad for being a ruthless owner. Hey, fuck the GM. If I have a chance to get someone better, I will. That's fine.
But if you're Baalke, don't you say, well, at least he said it to my face.
He said it to the podcaster. I think he just forgot. He's so
I think
little,
he forgot.
He cares so little about that position that he just forgot. By the way, Shad Khan still has that spectacular mustache. He need to get AD to grow something like that. That would be one of those badass old school Indian man curled up mustaches. That'd be the shit.
His wife would kick his ass. He ain't allowed to do that.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive.
That thing that Khan has needs a name.
His wife would kick his ass. I know, P. She ain't dealing with that shit.
Jeez. All right. Thank you to Orlando. Well, food for thought. If AD goes buck wild, P, and then winds up growing that dumbass mustache and you've had enough of his ass, call Orlando. Text me, P. I'll give you his personal cell.
Wow.
It's Orlando Kell, the official family lawyer of In the Building. Not to make light of divorce. We're goofing. But, hey, man, 50% of us that are married at some point will wind up in this sitch. 50%.
I saw Jessica Alba and Cash are calling it quits. They've been
and their house
forever.
burned down. And their house just
their house burned.
Mm-hmm.
And
week for homegirl.
And women, they'll be like, "This is just a sign that this is the right thing to do."
Yes,
women are wired that way. Like, oh, the house burned down. Like, I was having second thoughts. Maybe we should do this, but the house burning down just lets me know that this is done. Like, what?
Yep. So hit him up. So Jessica, call OK 2107.
Why not Cash? Jessica got plenty of money.
Well,
Cash, call OK.
Call Orlando. Call OK. Whoever calls him first gets him. You can also email him too if you need to. It's orlandokell@gmail.com. orlandokell@gmail.com. All right. Speaking of those wildfires, man, they may have to move the Rams-Vikings game to Phoenix.
Yeah, NFL is like, look, we got a schedule to keep. Rams,
play the game.
Y'all, we'll give y'all most of the home ticket options, but we're not breaking schedule. Y'all will play that game. Now, I know the Lakers and Hornets is up in the air. Hornets are already in LA. The refs are already in LA. But since Runyon, what is it, Canyon? That mountain that people all walk up when they go out there, Runyon's on fire.
There's 5 different
Hollywood
fires
Hills.
right now.
Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, there's 5 different fires right now going on at once. They could play the game, but they probably won't have anybody at the game. It'll look like COVID.
Yeah,
man. You imagine they
It's
moved
a
the
bad
football game to Phoenix?
situation.
It's a fucking playoff game, though.
Dude,
And
seeing some of the video, it
it's
does look like
awful.
the apocalypse. It looks like the
It's
apocalypse.
so bad. It's so bad. The Pacific
Like,
Palisades basically don't exist anymore. Over
it's just
1,000
done.
homes have been burned down in that neighborhood. Malibu is under siege. Topanga Canyon up there, Calabasas, where those other bunch of other celebrities live. Pasadena is on fire. There's a little town called Altadena, just north of Pasadena. That's the first one that got rolling.
Well, the construction companies are hoping everything continues to burn because one man's, you know, depression is another man's come up. These
Well,
because California will have to be rebuilt at some point, and
and the insurance
there'll be a
companies
few.
dodged the bullet because apparently they dropped coverage to a bunch of people in this part of California earlier in this year because of the threat of wildfire.
Did I not call that?
Unbelievable.
I
Yeah.
called that. I literally just said that yesterday, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yo, y'all are really gonna do these people like that?"
Well, they live in a fire zone, and the insurance companies turned out to be right. But still, that don't make it right. That don't make it
Dude,
moral.
that one lady was like, this home has been in my family for 75 years, and they called to tell me I don't have fire coverage."
Damn.
I'm like, pfft. So that means you've been paying insurance for 75 years,
Yeah.
and y'all gonna turn your back on me after 75 years?
Never got to use it. Now she needs it. Tough shit.
It's
Billy
some
Crystal's
bullshit,
house
bro.
got burned down. He and his wife been there
Billy Crystal?
46 years. Yeah. 46 years. They raised their kids, grandkids, and that house is gone. It's a bad scene in LA. Bad scene. So I would think if they have to move the football game to Phoenix, advantage Vikings because they won't have to deal with the home crowd that the Rams would benefit from if the game's in LA. And I picked the Rams to win this game. If this thing gets moved, I reserve the right to change my opinion. I may not, but I need to think about it. Speaking of the Vikings, so that's now this is a young man. Now, if you tell me that Tom Brady called Kevin O'Connell or is trying to steal Kevin O'Connell,
That's
or trade
different.
for him, that's different. There are multiple teams, apparently, according to the NFL Network, offering draft picks to the Vikings for Kevin O'Connell. He's that highly thought of, the kid running the Vikings.
He's
And
a kid.
he had to come out 2 days ago and say, no, stop calling the GM. I'm not leaving Minnesota. We're just getting started. I just drafted this kid from Michigan. I've got lightning in a bottle with Sam. We've got a good thing going. Stop it. But we'll see. Let's check back in 6 months and see where Kevin O'Connell is.
Exactly, bro.
Everybody keeps talking about how Sam Darnold's made a lot of money for himself. Shit, Kevin O'Connell might wind up being the coach of the Raiders or something. But the Vikings have come out and said they won't accept anything for Kevin O'Connell. That's not true. Everybody has a price. Everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody offers Steve Sarkisian $15 million, full autonomy, to leave the Longhorns to go to the NFL. He might consider doing that too. No one's untouched. Nothing.
Adam Schefter said Sark's phone is going to be ringing.
I know.
He said that today. I was listening to Adam this morning, and he was like, no matter what happens in the playoff, Sark's phone is going to be ringing from the NFL side of things. And I don't know when I look at the Raiders, Jags, Bears, and I'm missing a couple of teams, Patriots. None of those are more enticing than UT.
Yeah, why put up with the bullshit when you got it made in Austin? And
I
they
don't
made
know.
it easier
I
to
could be
coach
wrong.
college football. They've made it easier for college coaches to coach. It's the reason why Belichick went to college. He's disenchanted with the NFL model and how they're doing things. We'll see if Bill gets tired of the money shit though with these kids though and how they jump. We'll see what Bill Belichick thinks about coaching in college next year when 18 of his kids jump to the SEC or the Big Ten.
I know.
We'll see what he thinks then at 73.
Yeah.
See if he wants to put up with it. Everybody's got a price. Like you said yesterday, you and I can sit up here and bash Jerry Jones, but if Blue Star called us today and offered us money that would change our family's futures to go do Cowboys talk with Rudy and Mike live from the Star, Cowboy. By the way, that goes for everybody. And Thunderdome would have to just follow us if they want. I got kids. I got 4 kids to feed, as the drop says. if you and I got offered, insane money to move to Philadelphia and talk Eagles for insane life-changing money, fly Eagles,
And
fly,
and LG could be
fly
right there with his
Eagles,
team.
fly. Yeah,
LG could
LG
be
would
there
be
with his
right.
team.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'd be cool.
If I'm
Too cold in
Sark,
Philly.
Oh, stop it.
what
That's what the jacket's for, LG.
what job would I consider if I'm Steve? That mean I would take it, but I'd have to sit down.
Vegas. Vegas is the Vegas, but not because of the team, just because it's Vegas and it's new
Yeah,
building.
with his
And it's
history, I'm not sure he needs to be living in Vegas.
true.
Just not trying to be a dick. Like what are the primo positions in the NFL? I'm gonna write them down.
Well,
Pittsburgh.
I guess, yeah. Well, I guess anywhere with
That
the
job never
quarterback,
comes
Mike.
open, huh?
No, you know what? Chicago's the best job because they allegedly may potentially have a franchise QB.
Of the available ones.
Of the available ones,
Oh, okay.
let's say Chicago because anywhere you go that doesn't have a quarterback, you're probably
Mhm.
gonna fail.
The best places in the NFL, like just based on like the structure, like why wouldn't you do it or at least consider it?
Hmm.
Like personnel and everything. Obviously, if Andy Reid were to retire this year, why wouldn't you take the Kansas
Oh
City job?
God.
You know,
Oh my God. Yeah.
why wouldn't you? Um, the Broncos organization is amazing. The people that run that thing, the Walmart people, they don't bother him. They don't bother the GM.
They
They do
don't
what they
bother
need to
nobody.
do.
They selling toilet paper and shit. They don't care about the Broncos.
Yeah, they got this kid Bo Nix. Looks like he might have something for a while there. Um, why wouldn't you want to play for the Ravens? That organization is
Ooh, yeah, I love
spectacular.
that.
What a great organization! And you got Lamar. I don't think Sark's going anywhere, but you're nuts not to at least talk to him and see. Let's
And
see.
now, yeah, you also strong arm UT for more money. I baited a back-to-back Final Fours.
Right, for sure, absolutely. All right, show brought to you in part by. I was just kidding, AD. We're just goofing. We love you.
Did
We
he
love
text
Pete.
you?
No, in case he
Oh,
does. I'm trying to get him mad.
oh.
We love him hard. We got big specials to promote for the rest of the month of January at all 7 Texas Cheer locations, including Svetka Vodka.
The big boy bottle, half a gallon for
Look
$13.99,
at that.
and that is indeed the lowest price in town. So let them know you saw this ad. That's the only way you can get it.
Outstanding. Got that Martha's Vineyard 19 Crimes. Still love that she's let her face be put on the 19 Crimes bottle. $4.99 a bottle for the Martha Stewart. Martha's lighter charred. I guess that's
Shard.
Chardonnay.
Hey, that's another. She cut it in half, Mike. That's
I
a
understand.
shard.
Shard. I'll have a
It's
glass
a
of
shard.
Shard.
I have a glass of shard.
Oh, bring me Shard. Yeah, you're a bee.
Wow.
And then Fireball. I sold so much of that shit when I was working at the store I was working at.
Bro,
People
I'm still
love them some
I'm
Fireball.
still amazed at how much Fireball people drink. Cause man, I love it. I'll say that. But I sell a ton of Fireball too. I'm talking about 10
$12.99.
shots at a
Look at
time.
that. That's the big bottle too for $12.99. That's a
Yes, sir.
750 ml. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good.
It's called a fifth. In the hood, they call it a fifth. Let
A
me get
fifth?
a
That's a
fifth of
fifth.
hand. Let me get a fifth of hand, dog. Let me get a fifth of crown.
I sold a few bottles of Hennessy at my location. Not a lot, but some.
Yeah.
Some.
No, not your location. That ain't a Hennessy location.
I sold lots of Fireball, and I sold a lot of Shard.
Shard. Cab.
All
I
right.
think
Who do you
I
think?
think I'm in the mood for a cab.
Yeah, what? Miss me with that shit. All right, who you got tonight? Penn State or Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
Me too.
Only because like it's out Penn State, Ohio State, UT. You beat a team like Georgia, your confidence goes somewhere else. Your quarterback's legit, your coach is legit. It's gonna be tough for everybody. I'm taking Notre Dame tonight, but hell, I thought Colorado was gonna beat BYU, so don't listen to me. But I'm taking Notre Dame.
There is no
And I
way.
think Penn
Go ahead.
State ain't like who they play, Boise State, and who they play before that.
SMU.
Come on, dog. Notre Dame's coming off Georgia. It's a different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see.
I think Notre Dame handles Penn State pretty easily. 28-13, something like that. Marcus Freeman is the shit. I like him. Notre Dame
I like
took a
him
while,
too.
finally found the right head coach. He's great. I like James
I'm
Franklin.
glad they didn't panic fire him because it got ugly here and there
Oh,
the
well, they
last
got
couple
like
of years.
Northern Illinois, and they got beat.
Yeah. It got
no,
ugly.
that's a different group.
Yeah.
It's a different
Notre
group.
Dame has high expectations, but anyway.
And their
we're
defense is awesome. I don't think Drew Allar, the quarterback at Penn State, is going to be able to do anything against the Notre Dame defense. I think he's got talent, but he ain't there yet.
He
Notre
is
Dame,
talented.
Notre
The
Dame
kid
shuts
can play.
Penn State down. I would not be surprised if they hold Penn State to under 10 points in the game. It's maybe like 28-7. Notre Dame
right.
cruises tonight. They cruise. All right, and we were going to do. No, we're so late on what you're watching Wednesday. We're going to have to make
We'll
this
get
what you're watching
next
Friday.
week.
The people
Yeah.
don't care. Freak me on TV. I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I do. I have a couple of shows we've watched this week that I wanted to introduce to y'all. But why don't we lead?
We'll roll it over.
We'll roll it over tomorrow. We'll roll it over
All right.
tomorrow. All right. Thanks, everybody. Please share our shows. Tell your homies there are two good dudes doing a good show in this town. All you have to do is subscribe to us on YouTube.
To what?
Share, like. We're on Twitch. We're on Spotify, all that stuff. But, man, YouTube is where we butter our bread. And so get your ass on there and click subscribe. It's absolutely free. They're not going to be beating you over the head. Hey, don't forget, you just get a little notification when the show gets dropped. That's it. That's it. Become a member, too. We've done
We had
2 or 3.
two new members today.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, did we add 2 new today? Very good. It's only $6 a month. Why wouldn't you do this? You get all the exclusive members only stuff we do. That's it. We're done. All right, give me Notre Dame to cruise. And we'll talk Texas, Ohio State tomorrow.
We'll talk Texas tomorrow.
And what you watching this week.
This week,
We'll get into that tomorrow. All right, that's it. Thank you, Rudy. Have a good day. We be done. Y'all have a good day. Love everybody hard. Peace out.
This program was made possible by contributions from viewers and listeners like you. Thank you.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.